Naruto, Reborn Prodigy, Master of all Ninjutsu. Episode 121. You. What the hell are you? Naruto held Jitsung dead and spoke. It doesn't matter who I am, the important thing is that you are stupider than I thought. No wonder you died so early, someone reminded you not to listen. Even if you don't listen, you still want to kill me? Jitsung wanted to break free. She wanted to use ninjutsu, but Naruto didn't mean to let go. Without being able to break free from Naruto's bondage, she couldn't make a seal, let alone use ninjutsu against Naruto. If you have to kill me, I will not hesitate to kill you, but I am a kinder person, for your sake, I will spare your life. By the way, not only do I know that you are going to send an envoy to the Misty Hidden Village, but I also know that you are a tool for venting hatred that was given to the Misty Hidden Village by the Wind Shadow. These words made Jitsung stunned. You. What are you talking about? Speaking of this, don't you understand? When you fought the decisive battle with the Wuin village, how many people did you kill in the Wuin village? Now that he has sent you to Wuin village to make peace, do you think the people of Wuin village will treat you? These words once again made Jitsung stunned. Naruto was right. She is called a hero by the Sand Hidden Village, and that is because she has killed countless enemies. Among the enemies killed were many people from the Misty Hidden Village. Wuin village absolutely hated her to the bone. She couldn't help but think that if she went to make peace, I was afraid that she would really not be able to convince the public. In addition, the messenger sent this time was only himself, which could be described as isolated. If Wuin village wanted to do it to itself, it would be easy. She had completely distrusted Naruto before, but after being reminded like this, she was finally a little shaken. Even if she was loyal to the Sand Hidden Village and how nice the words Kazekage said, Naruto had to think a few more times about what he said. Because she is a ninja. She knew that there was an unwritten rule between ninjas and ninjas. Either you are deceived by others, or you are deceiving others. There is no other way. Seeing that Jitsung didn't use his strength, Naruto simply let go of his hand. If it weren't for your pretty sake, I wouldn't have bothered to say this. Anyway, you should do it yourself, I have to go to rest. Seeing that Naruto was about to leave, he was pulled by Jitsung. I don't care if what you said is true or not, but you know something so confidential, I won't let you leave so easily. Naruto frowned and looked at Hakura. If you have to do it with me, I don't mind ending your life first on this ship. Although just a sentence. But she was actually frightened by Naruto's words. The other party is just a 12-year-old child. She gritted her teeth lightly, and then said, anyway, you also want to go to Wuin village, then go together, if not as you said. Looking at Jitsung in front of him, Naruto just lightly spoke. What can I do? Could it be that the lost life cannot be achieved? And I said, believe it or not, I won't force you to believe me, if said. Naruto had been following him, ringing in her ears. Jitsung would feel that this person had a special intention. But Naruto just said, showing this attitude of indifference, Jitsung couldn't help but have some words from Naruto. This may be credible. As she thought so, Naruto had already turned around and intended to enter the cabin. Jitsung immediately followed and stood beside Naruto. Glancing at Jitsung on the side. Naruto didn't speak. To enter the cabin, you have to go this way. It's just that after entering, Jitsung has always been by his side, which makes Naruto a little puzzled. What are you following me for? Whether what you say is true or not, but you know my next trip, I must follow you and prevent you from doing something that is not conducive to me and my Shine village. Naruto laughed helplessly. You think too much, I have no grievances with your Shine village, why should I do something that is not conducive to your Shine village? Anyway, I will always follow you until Wuin village, and I also want to prove to you that I was sent to Wuin village for a serious mission, not to send me to death. Naruto walked directly to the counter inside, and smiled on his mouth. As you like, if you want to send you to death, I won't stop you. Turning around, he said to the waiter at the counter, I want a room, a big bedroom. Anyway, he is not poor in money now, and naturally wants the best room. The other party saw that Naruto was a ninja, but he did not think that he was young. After waiting for Naruto to pay, he directly opened a room for him and handed Naruto the room card. Holding the key card, Naruto planned to go back to his room. Jitsung still followed behind. Naruto turned to glance at Hakura with a hint of ridicule. What are you still following me for? I'm going to sleep later, so are you going to sleep with me? Since I want to watch you, I naturally want to be with you. That's the room I booked. How much money, I can give you. After speaking, he directly took out the money from his pocket and gave it to Naruto. In her opinion, she was older than Naruto, and she should pay for the hotel. Naruto glanced at the money in Jitsung's hand, turned around with a smile, and walked in the direction of the room he had set. Since the two of us are going to sleep in the same room, it is natural for me as a man to pay, and it is not good for you to spend money as a woman. Yitsong felt that there was nothing wrong with what Naruto said, but he felt strange. She followed Naruto, but not to play any game with him, but to follow him very seriously. As a ninja, there is a way to avoid being discovered. But she and Naruto had already spoken and didn't have to hide their thoughts, it was more convenient to be upright. It's just that the blonde boy in front of him doesn't look old, but what he says is completely different from that of a child. Walked directly to the door of the room and opened the door with the room card. The room was much more basic than I had imagined. But think about it too. This is not Blue Star, this is the Hokage world. It's nice to have a big bed on a cruise ship, don't expect anything else. Fortunately, there is a separate bathroom inside, and the hygiene and cleaning inside is very clean. After walking in, Naruto didn't care if Hakura followed. He walked straight to the bed and began to undress. Hakura, who had just closed the door, saw Naruto undressing and immediately asked, "What are you doing?" Naruto paused and continued to take off his shirt, then began to take off his pants. Isn't that explicit? I'm undressing, so bad you are also an elite upper patience, you don't even have this bit of common sense? What are you doing undressing here? Naruto took off his outer pants and threw them on the bed. I love to be clean, there is still a week to go from here to the country of water, I naturally have a good rest, of course, I have to take a bath before resting, and I can only go to bed after washing, and you will be the same later, otherwise, you will sleep on the ground. Episode 122. After that, Naruto went directly into the bathroom wearing his pants. But Yitsong was actually nervous. It was clear that Naruto was much shorter than himself, and he was just a ghost. It must be because Naruto speaks like an adult, so it is like this. Looking at Naruto throwing clothes all over the bed, Yitsong had a little headache to see. Probably because she is older and a girl, she is not used to being so messy. She moved her hand and straightened Naruto's clothes, and placed them on the side table. There was a rattling sound in the bathroom. Yitsong sat on the chair on the side. She kept wondering why Naruto knew about this. Was it the secret leaked by Tsunehide village, or was what he said true, or did all the ninjas in Konoha village know about it, and only she Hakura was kept in the dark? If she was really a tool deceived by the wind shadow to vent her hatred to the Wuin village, then what was her loyalty to the Sand Hidden village? While she was thinking about it, Naruto had already come out of the shower. He was wearing nothing. Yitsong didn't pay attention and looked directly at Naruto. Then he saw Naruto's appearance, Naruto without clothes. That moment, Yitsong felt that the atmosphere was a little strange. Naruto looked at Hakura and also felt a little uncomfortable. Because he is only in the body of 12 now. If it were a little bigger, it might be even more interesting. But Naruto was calm, he was not a chick, and he had seen more women. He walked straight to the bed, noticed the clothes that were packed by Yitsong, and he couldn't help but praise. Sister Yitsong is quite virtuous, she has already cleaned up my clothes, it seems that she is very suitable for being a wife, why not wait for me to grow up and marry you? Yitsong frowned and blamed, you are young, who did you learn these things out of tune with? Naruto grabbed a piece of clothing at random and put it on his body, lying on the bed. Of course, this good quality is innate, there is no need to learn from anyone, besides, Sister Yitsong is so beautiful, a man will want to marry you home, and I am no exception, otherwise, I will not tell you your ending. Not again. Yitsong didn't want to pay attention to Naruto, and turned around directly, if you want to rest, then sleep, I will not disturb you. Yitsong wanted to retreat. If Naruto wasn't running around, it would be much easier for her to look at him. Looking at Hakura's attitude, Naruto just smiled gently, he closed his eyes and planned to rest for a while. In fact, when I first got on the boat, I was really sleepy and wanted to sleep, but when I really lay down, I couldn't sleep. It really made Naruto a little helpless. Finally, he got up from the bed and put on all the other clothes. Seeing Naruto get up, Yitsong also immediately got up, and she asked, what are you going to do? I'm bored, I plan, don't worry, the ship is so big, I can't run. Yitsong followed closely and said of course, I don't trust you, what if there is your connector on this ship? Naruto couldn't help but laugh, I think you're murdered paranoia, right? Forget it, follow if you want. Naruto left the room. After walking around, I found that there was a casino on this cruise ship. It's not a new place, I've been there with Tsunade before. However, Naruto is not a gambler, and he is now very rich, so he doesn't need to gamble at all. But he walked in anyway. As an adult older than Naruto, Hakura grabbed Naruto. This made Naruto a little puzzled, what's wrong? You wouldn't suspect that my contacts were in the casino, would you? Yitsong frowned, what are you doing as a child going to the casino? There must be other places on this cruise, see elsewhere. Naruto couldn't help but laugh and held Yitsong's hand instead. It seems that Sister Yitsong really wants to be my wife, and now she will start taking care of my affairs? With these words, Yitsong didn't know how to pick it up, and finally pulled Naruto directly to leave. There are many people in the casino, I can't spy on you, if you want to play, go play elsewhere. Okay, you are big, you have the final say. When Yitsong heard this, he immediately let go of Naruto's hand, and his little face was still a little red. Naruto. How can you always say these words at such a young age? Naruto just smiled and walked in the other direction. No way, Sister Yitsong, you are too beautiful, I can't help but praise you for just 2 sentences, since you don't let me gamble, then let's go find a place to eat, I'm a little hungry. Yitsong quickly followed and took the initiative to say, you paid for the house, I'll pay for it later. Naruto did not refuse, okay, you are big, you have the final say. Yitsong held his breath again, wanted to say something, and finally gave up again. She really couldn't say enough about Naruto. After that, the two went to the restaurant. Although the cruise ship is not luxurious, the restaurant on board is quite exquisitely furnished. It's lunchtime. There were many people who came to eat, and the two found a place to sit. After getting the menu, Yitsong said very grandly, this time I will pay, you can eat whatever you want, don't say I'm stingy at that time. Naruto glanced at her, then smiled, that's what you said. Of course, I'm an adult, so what I say naturally counts. Naruto was really unkind in the end, and ordered a table of seafood, and various expensive dishes. When he heard the name of the dish, Yitsong's eyes were about to pop out. Seeing that Yitsong's expression was not right, Naruto deliberately asked, Sister Yitsong, your face seems to be wrong, did I order too much? You can't afford it? Yitsong immediately replied, who said that? I can afford it. Naruto nodded and continued to order even some shochu. These days can be said to be the most relaxing time, so you can drink some alcohol unscrupulously, maybe we can have something to happen with some wine? Yitsong glanced sideways at Naruto and said angrily, you little one, you always say something that is not marginal. Naruto just laughed and didn't answer again. But looking at the menu, Yitsong's heart was slandered, this kid is not old, but his appetite is not small. I ordered so many expensive things. Although Yitsong is an elite shungrin, his monthly salary is quite a lot. It's just that she is a very frugal person and would not eat so luxuriously at all. Now such a meal will eat her salary for at least 2 or 3 months. Naruto saw Yitsong's bitterness in his eyes. While waiting for the food to be served, Naruto took the opportunity to go to the bathroom, and when he returned, it happened to be served. Looking at the table full of dishes, Naruto looked satisfied. Then I'm welcome, but Sister Yitsong is a treat today. Episode 123, Naruto ate very happily, and Hakura couldn't help but eat in the end. This meal is her to pay, and not eating it is too wasteful. The more I think about it, the more I eat harder. Although expensive. But I have to say, these seafood are really delicious. Although Yitsong ate urgently, he still had an image. Beautiful women eat, really eye-catching. Naruto took a few bites and poured himself a glass of shochu. In fact, I don't like drinking so much. Just seeing the sake reminded him of that time with Tsunade. Tsunade likes to gamble and drink. Every time she finished drinking, she used her career line to suffocate herself. Naruto missed that time. Watching Naruto pour himself wine, Hakura snatched his wine glass away like an adult. Naruto couldn't help but frown, what are you doing snatching my wine glass? What kind of wine do children drink? Yitsong said so, I wanted to enter the casino just now I drink, and I always say something that is not marginal, you are still not a child, she is a good teacher, at least good to her own students. It was an accident to meet Naruto. Sitting together now is also an accident. But he looked about the same age as his own student, and Hakura subconsciously wanted to take care of Naruto. It's okay, this tube made Naruto can't help but ridicule. It seems that you really want to be my wife and take care of me. I'm an adult. Besides, your parents must have taught you too. Don't think that these are useless nagging, parents should listen to it well. Naruto just smiled, and then came indifferently, I'm sorry, I didn't have parents since I was a child, I grew up so big, purely relying on my integrity. In the original, Naruto grew up to the age of 12 alone. If it weren't for relying on his integrity, he couldn't think of any other reason. Without a father or mother, and being spurned by the whole village, that kind of life is not tolerable for everyone. This was just Naruto's casual words, but Hakura listened to it. She stopped holding Naruto's hand in her glass and looked at Naruto for a long moment. Glancing at Hakura, Naruto took a piece of sashimi and brought it to his mouth with dipping sauce. What are you doing looking at me like that? Still want to educate me instead of my parents? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I don't know. Now Naruto understood, it turned out that Yitsong pitied himself. But he didn't care much. Not having parents does make it sad. After he lost Naruto, many emotions were almost inherited, but he didn't really experience that pain. So it's easier to carry things down. He smiled faintly and said, "There's nothing to be sorry for, it's just a common thing, you just treat it as a simple chat, don't care too much." The more Naruto said this, the more he felt that the child in front of him was a little pitiful. Yitsong is essentially kind. Otherwise, the little girl by the water would not have been rescued. In the later stage, when he was reborn in filthy soil, he would not let his students go. Yitsong didn't speak again. Naruto took another cup and continued to pour himself a glass of wine. "You pity me so much, can you let me have a drink?" These words cleared Yitsong's thoughts, and she immediately stopped. "That's not okay. How can you drink at such a young age?" Naruto deliberately said with a pitiful expression of a child. "But this wine costs money, if you don't drink it, it will be wasted. Should Sister Yitsong not drink bars?" It was true that Hakura rarely drank, but she did not allow Naruto to drink. Looking at the wine in the cup, Yitsong seemed to be about to do something big. "I'm an adult, I can drink." After speaking, he was directly stuffy. That's shochu, which is commonly known as liquor. After drinking it, Yitsong only felt that his throat was about to smoke, and his tongue was also very spicy. In short, it was not delicious. Looking at Yitsong's painful look, Naruto couldn't help but laugh. "If you don't like to drink it, don't drink it, it's not too expensive." If only the money was not mentioned. Yitsong may really not drink it, but thinking of the price of this meal, she took the cup that Naruto poured later. "Who says I don't like to drink it? I just haven't drunk it in a long time." However, she did not drink it immediately, but planned to slow herself down. "This wine is really too strong." Seeing that Yitsong was so serious, Naruto did not dismantle the platform, but continued to eat. "Anyway, he doesn't like to drink very much. Yitsong wants to drink, let her drink." After this meal, Naruto ate quite happily. Yitsong was not very happy, but she found one thing, that is, after drinking wine for a long time, she seemed to be able to feel the sweetness in the middle. Especially after drinking the back, her body has a light fluttering feeling, which makes her feel very comfortable. As the elite Shinobi of Sand Hidden Village, and the hero in everyone's mind. She lives exhausted every day and is always on a variety of tasks. Sometimes with your companions, sometimes alone. She's a person, and she'll get tired too. It's just that these hardships, she thinks, are worth it. Because she has been busy, I didn't think that she could actually relax. At this time, she was a little drunk, and a voice in her head was telling her. She can stop. She could take a break. Because there is still a week to go to the land of water. Thinking of this, Yitsong's mood was much better. Looking at Yitsong's red face, Naruto couldn't help but say, "Sister Yitsong, you seem to be drunk, do you want me to send you back to your room?" Yitsong waved his hand, looking confident. "Who said I was drunk? I'm just a little bit dizzy, but my consciousness is still clear." The words are clear and the logic is not chaotic. It seems to be true, just a little dizzy, but the consciousness is still clear. After all, it is an elite ninja, and it is not so easy to get drunk and unconscious. Naruto nodded. "Okay, then let's go to the next place. I heard that there is a swimming pool nearby, let's go swim." Yitsong frowned, finished eating and went swimming? While she thought so, Naruto had already stood up. She also hurriedly got up, and her steps seemed very steady. Naruto was sure that Hakura didn't seem to be really drunk, just a little dizzy. She doesn't look like a regular drinker, but she drinks well. This is not surprising. People who like to drink may get better if they drink over the years, and people who don't like to drink may be born with a good amount of alcohol. Yitsong probably belongs to the latter. Episode 124. Before leaving. Yitsong still remembered to pay the bill, but when he walked to the cash register, he was told that he had already paid the order. Yitsong understood instantly. It turned out that Naruto had paid for it early. It should have been Naruto when he said to go to the bathroom. She frowned slightly, and quickly caught up with Naruto's footsteps and stopped Naruto. "Didn't I say I invited this meal? Why did you still pay in advance?" Naruto said with a smile. "If Sister Yitsong always owes me, will she feel guilty about me and marry me?" These words made Hakura stunned, and Naruto bypassed Hakura and continued to walk forward. Probably because of the alcohol, Hakura did not blame Naruto for saying these boundless words, but continued to follow behind him. After that, the two went to the pool. Not many people come here, and most of them are ordinary people. The ship is headed for the land of water. There are definitely ninjas on board, but there are not many of them. Of course, the kind of person who hides his identity is not clear. But Naruto didn't pay much attention to that. It's time to have more fun. Arrived at the pool. Naruto bought a swimsuit from a nearby vendor and went straight into the water. There are not many easy days, and you have to take advantage of them. But Yutsong did not go into the water, but kept watching from the sidelines. Naruto swam for a while, then came to the edge of the pool, put his hand on the shore and said to Hakura, "Don't you go into the water for a while?" Yutsong immediately shook his head. Naruto teased, "Sister Yutsong is so beautiful, it's really a waste not to wear a swimsuit." Yutsong glanced sideways at Naruto, "You go swim yours." Naruto just laughed and continued to play by himself. She doesn't go into the water, not because she doesn't like swimming, but she doesn't. After all, she is a person who lives in Shine Village, which is full of deserts, not to mention the existence of such a thing as a swimming pool. The time spent in contact with water is minimal. To put it bluntly, she is even a little afraid of water. Of course Naruto didn't know that. He felt that as a ninja, swimming was a trivial matter, not impossible. After probably playing for a while, Naruto felt tired of it, so he went directly ashore, put on his clothes, and planned to set off for another destination. A slightly drunk Hakura followed behind Naruto and asked, "Are we going back to our room now?" Naruto responded as he walked, "Sister Yutsong, shouldn't you want to have something with me while your wine is going, so you want to go back to your room early?" Yutsong didn't mean that. "I just wanted to go back to rest early," but the words completely changed from Naruto's mouth. "You don't talk about these things, some of them." Naruto smiled and did not speak. After that, he led Yutsong to wander around, and found no other things he wanted to play, so he planned to go back to the room. This way down. Yutsong's wine was almost awake. Back in the room, Yutsong relaxed a lot and directly found a place to sit. Naruto had originally planned to sleep, but he suddenly thought of Hakura's abilities. Yutsong is a person who has the burning blood succession limit. Burning is a blood succession limit formed by the fusion of the two attributes chakra of wind and fire, and Yutsong can be said to be the only burning escape user. Before, I only thought that Yutsong would be killed when he went to Wuin village, but he forgot this important information. So he turned his head to look at Yutsong and asked bluntly, "Sister Yutsong, can you teach me to burn away? I'm very interested in Juodun and have always wanted to learn." As soon as these words came out, Yutsong, who was originally a little dizzy, instantly sobered up. If Naruto's previous words were all nonsense, but now he actually said it. "If you haven't seen you, where would you know this? Could it be that everything this kid said is true?" It's not important though. The important thing is that not everyone can learn the ninjutsu of the blood succession boundary. She didn't say that Naruto didn't measure himself, but said directly, "Since you know Burning Dun, you should know that Burning Dun is a ninjutsu unique to people who belong to the blood succession limit, and you are not a person who has this blood succession limit. Even if you want to learn it, you can't learn it." Of course Naruto knew. It's just that he's not an ordinary person. He himself contains the 6 attributes chakra of fire, wind, water, earth, thunder, and yang. If it is a simple learning condition, he has it completely. Moreover, in the later stage, when he possessed the 6 Tao immortal body, he could even master any ninjutsu, including the blood succession limit of this technique. Although he hadn't obtained the 6 Tao immortal body yet, he really wanted to try it. If so, this would be a major discovery. Of course I know, but Sister Yutsong, you should also know that you are the only one in the world who can use the burning escape now. If you really leave this world one day, then this burning escape will have no successor. Do you really hope that this ninjutsu will completely disappear from the ninja world? Hearing the words, Yutsong's expression suddenly fell into sadness. Just as Naruto said. She is the only one who has this blood succession limit. In this world, she is the only one who can use the burning escape. Long ago, her parents had died in battle, and no one else except her had the ability to burn. However, she quickly came to her senses and directly vetoed, "So what? Even if I want to find someone to inherit, it has to be my clan, or someone from Sand Hidden Village, and besides, this ninjutsu is not taught by me, you can learn it." Naruto recognized Hakura's words, and she was right. It is impossible for people to teach this ninjutsu to themselves for nothing. After all, for ninjas, ninjutsu is a very precious asset. This world. Some people study the ninjutsu of enemy countries. Even did not hesitate to send undercover agents to enemy countries, killing and plundering, all in order to spy on the secrets of other countries. Moreover, it is still this kind of ninjutsu of the blood succession limit, let alone talk about it. Directly asking you to teach me is indeed a little too reckless. How about this? How about I exchange it with you using the Flying Thunder God technique? Flying Thunder God technique? Yutsong almost exclaimed. Naruto nodded, and he smiled. That's right, it seems that you know the art of Flying Thunder God, so you don't need me to explain it to you, right? Using this ninjutsu to exchange it with you is not excessive, right? Naturally, it is not excessive. Although the Flying Thunder God art is not a ninjutsu of the blood succession boundary. But it is the ninjutsu that was once used by the fourth generation of Konoha's Hokage, known as the Golden Shining Wave Feng Shui Gate. He used this ninjutsu to a divine level, which made many people marvel, and how many ninjas in the ninja world were afraid of it. It's just that this kind of powerful ninjutsu is like scorching, and it is by no means something that everyone can learn. And although Naruto knows some things about himself, he is just a child after all. Yitsong still didn't believe a little. In her opinion, how could Naruto fly such ninjutsu as thunder? Episode 125. Thinking of this, Yitsong said directly, "Do you think I'll believe what you say? Although you are a ninja in Konoha village, Flying Thunder God ninjutsu is not a ninjutsu that everyone can learn. How do you teach me? You don't believe I can do this ninjutsu?" "Of course I don't believe it. How old are you now? How big can you be?" "That's right, after all, I'm just a subjutsu of Konoha village, and it's natural that you don't believe me." Hakura thought that he had exposed Naruto's lie, and Naruto would give up his desire to learn to burn. But then, Naruto said, "Then how about I perform a Flying Thunder God technique for you on the spot? If I do, we'll swap." Hakura looked at Naruto with a very skeptical look. She always thought that Naruto was just deceiving her. "I want to get my own burning ninjutsu." However, everything that followed, Yitsong couldn't believe his eyes. Because Naruto showed his Flying Thunder God technique on the spot. Closing the distance, he shifted her in an instant. Let's not mention that this ninjutsu is not something that everyone can learn, and then this ninjutsu should not be able to be used anytime, anywhere, right? Good evil is also forbidden art, at least it is also the ninjutsu that makes the finale. But Naruto said that the display is shown? Looking at Yitsong's expression, Naruto said directly, "If you don't think you can see clearly, I can show you again." Naruto spoke extremely lightly, not at all like a person who had just used forbidden arts. But after he finished using the Flying Thunder God technique, he said that he could use it again? It seems that this ninjutsu is as simple to use as eating and drinking. She was so shocked that she couldn't speak for a long time. Naruto was about to show it again, but Hakura stopped. No need, I already see clearly. How about that? Exchange with me? Let's be honest." Yitsong was really moved. After all, the Flying Thunder God technique is rare. If you really learn it, then the ultimate improvement. You really want to swap with me? You have to know that burning is a blood succession limit ninjutsu. Even if I teach you, you may not be able to learn it, so you're willing to exchange with me? Yitsong was also blunt. The Flying Thunder God art is rare, I naturally want to learn it, and it is the same mentality as if you want to learn burning done. That's okay, whether you learn it or not will be my business, so you don't have to worry. Yitsong thought about it and agreed directly. However, she was still a little concerned. If you exchange the Flying Thunder God technique with me, aren't you afraid that I will report this matter to the Sand Hidden Village at that time, and give this ninjutsu to others to study? Naruto had an expression of indifference. My future wife is so kind, she shouldn't do such a thing, right? After all, if the people of Konoha village know about it, I may be recognized as a traitor. Can you bear to see me being chased and killed by the dark department of Konoha village? Of course, Naruto still didn't say a little. When he goes to the land of water, whether Yitsong can survive is a matter of two words. Is to survive, and she has been betrayed. Whether she will return to Shine Village is a big question mark. Therefore, Naruto was not worried at all that Hakura would leak the Flying Thunder God technique. Originally, they were still chatting well, but Naruto talked about this again, which made Yitsong instantly a little anxious. That anxiety is strange, not angry, but another strange emotion. Who's your wife? How old are you? Do you think I might marry you? I'm not small, and I'll grow up in the future. Should Sister Yitsong try it? Yitsong looked at Naruto with a strange expression. What to try? What do I need to try when you grow up? Naruto instantly felt a little bored. Yitsong was such an adult, and he couldn't understand what he said. Finally waved his hand. It's okay, I mean I will grow up sooner or later. Won't it be good when I grow up and marry you? Yitsong was too lazy to take Naruto, sat directly on the chair and closed his eyes. It's not early, rest early. Tomorrow I will start teaching you to burn, and you don't forget your promise to me. Naruto sat on the edge of the bed and looked at Hakura. Shouldn't you be planning to sleep in a chair? The bed is very soft, you sleep here with me? However, Yitsong directly refused. No need, I can sleep here. Although Naruto was just a small child. But he always said those words, which really made Yitsong care a little, so it was better to keep his distance from Naruto. Seeing that Yitsong was unmoved, Naruto didn't care. Anyway, just sleep comfortably by yourself. Episode 126. After dealing with the night on the sofa, Yitsong still maintained his spirit after getting up. As a ninja. No matter how difficult the environment is, I have slept in, let alone just a sofa. Naruto felt quite comfortable sleeping in bed. Not long after getting up, Yitsong asked to start learning ninjutsu. I have to say that Yitsong is a very serious and hardworking ninja who only thinks about progress. However, Naruto was also quite interested in Joie, and did not refuse Hakura's request. Since Naruto had shown it once in front of Hakura before. So this time, it was Yitsong who came to explain to Naruto the most basic ninjutsu, Burning Shun, Burning Hand. This ninjutsu, Naruto has never heard of at all. The only thing that is known is that Yitsong will use burning escape over steaming and psychic techniques. However, any ninjutsu, even the ninjutsu of the blood succession limit, will have a relative foundation, and no one learns to run without learning to walk. So Naruto was not surprised by this. After all, when Yitsong appeared, it was in the 4 ninja world battles, and it was no longer appropriate to use basic ninjutsu. But now it's different, and the professor's words start from the basics. The so-called burning hand is that the palm of the hand is burned at once to produce high temperature, and the object touched will cause burns. Yitsong is a good teacher. She explained the basic ninjutsu in great detail, and how to invoke the whole process of the fusion of the internal wind attribute chakra and the fire attribute chakra to form a burning escape. You try, but I have to tell you, this is the ninjutsu of the blood succession limit. No matter how detailed I say, you can't learn it. Don't regret the promise you gave me then. Naruto smiled faintly and stretched out his palm. Don't worry, whether you learn or not will be my business. I won't let you work hard in vain. According to what Hakura said, Naruto sealed the seal and began to invoke the wind chakra and fire chakra in his body. Immediately, Naruto's palm was wrapped in a layer of red, and before he touched it, he could feel the high temperature of his palm at this time. Just like Yitsong demonstrated just now. Naruto did it so easily. He said with a smile, your blood succession limit ninjutsu seems to be not as difficult as you think. How is this possible? Yitsong couldn't believe his eyes. You have 2 chakra attributes of wind and fire? Probably. Naruto casually explained, it's pretty simple anyway. In short, for Naruto, as long as someone taught him, it was really extremely easy for him to learn a ninjutsu. It's just that Naruto said that the ninjutsu of the blood succession limit realm is very simple, and Yitsong didn't know how to say it for a while. At this time, her mood also seemed a little complicated. She had always felt lonely, because only she could use it, but now Naruto would too. And it's that easy. She just taught it once, and Naruto mastered the scorching. It was incredible. Seeing that Yitsong had been looking at himself with surprise, Naruto just said in a teasing tone, maybe this is a signal from heaven to you. I can burn this and show that you must be my wife in the future. Yitsong frowned, and said, this is just the most basic ninjutsu in the burning void. Maybe you are just lucky, huh? Do you still need to rely on learning ninjutsu? Isn't my luck bursting? Yitsong didn't know how to answer this. Because she knows better than anyone that learning any ninjutsu cannot rely on luck. If effort is not included, then talent is the most important thing. Luck doesn't play any role at all. Look at Yitsong and don't speak. Naruto also knew that he really learned it so quickly, which made Hakura a little frustrated. Don't tease you, I'll explain the Flying Thunder God technique to you, you have to listen carefully. Changing the topic, Yitsong nodded very seriously. Naruto can learn the basic ninjutsu of burning so quickly, maybe he can also quickly learn the art of Flying Thunder God? However, Yitsong thought too much. Because the Flying Thunder God art is really not something that anyone can learn. Even if Yitsong's chakra is abundant now, it is still a little too reluctant for the Flying Thunder God art. It's not just that. Yitsong couldn't understand many details of the Flying Thunder God technique. Even if Naruto explained it to Hakura in the simplest terms, Yitsong couldn't understand it. For a whole day, Yitsong didn't even understand the technique marks in it. Naruto couldn't help but ridicule, it seems that Sister Yitsong's talent is not enough, you probably can't learn the art of Flying Thunder God. Yitsong only felt extremely frustrated, his learning talent was actually lost to a 12-year-old little fart child? She said unyieldingly, I just don't have enough time to practice, I believe I can learn it sooner or later. Of course I believe it, so if Sister Yitsong doesn't understand anything, you can ask me at any time, I will take the trouble to explain it to Sister Yitsong. I can also be regarded as a good teacher. Yitsong looked at Naruto and was speechless, a little devil was her teacher. After practicing for a while, Naruto stretched directly, that's it for today, I'm hungry, let's go eat first. He didn't worry about Naruto going alone, so Hakura had to follow. For the next few days, Yitsong is studying hard and seriously. But the art of Flying Thunder God is really too difficult. But Naruto learned all the ninjutsu that burned the dun. Am I too bad? I taught you all the ninjutsu of burning Duan, but I haven't learned the art of Flying Thunder God. I thought you would be naive and couldn't find out, but I didn't expect you to have some brains. Yitsong was a little speechless. The reason why she didn't think about it all this was because Naruto was a child no matter how he looked, so he was just not very guarded. And Naruto was really careful when teaching herself every day, so she didn't think too much about it. It's just that she has never learned the art of flying Thunder God, which really makes her a little anxious. I won't let you lose money, you shouldn't be able to learn the flying Thunder God technique, I can teach you strange power. Weird power? Hakura seemed a little surprised. You actually use the strange power of Konoha Sanshinu Nakatsunade-sama? You know mother-in-law Tsunade? You call Tsunade-sama a mother-in-law? It's okay to call the master, but she personally taught me this strange power, do you want to learn it? Think. Yitsong answered without thinking. Konoha Sanshinu, how could she not know? Of course, she was very aware of Tsunade's strange powers. After all, she is always on various tasks, and the village of Tsunahide stores the information of ninjas from various countries, and she still knows some things about ninjas of Tsunade's level. Before disembarking, Yitsong had been learning strange powers, and put the flying thunder god technique aside. Compared to the art of taking off Thor, the strange power is much easier to understand. Yitsong has enough talent. On the evening the day before getting off the cruise, Yitsong thoroughly understood the principle of strange power. It's just that there is no way to experiment in this cruise ship. Ending his practice, Naruto collapsed on the bed. Tomorrow you will be in the land of water, but you still insist on going to the misty hidden village? Episode 127. These days, get along with Naruto. Yitsong was less hostile to Naruto anymore, more like a conversation between friends. As an envoy of Shine Village, my mission is to visit Wuin Village, and I naturally want to go. Even if you know that there is danger there, you are likely to die because of it, and you want to go? Yitsong was silent for a moment, then nodded. Go, besides, your side of the story may not be true. Naruto smiled lightly, then tilted his head and said, why don't we make a bet? If you are ambushed, marry me. Yitsong sat directly on the sofa with his eyes closed. I don't bet you little devil, it's not early, rest, the ship will dock tomorrow morning. These days. Yitsong had been sleeping on the sofa. Even Naruto wasn't happy to let her sleep in bed. It can be said that Yitsong is very stubborn. It was late at night. Naruto suddenly woke up. Probably going to the land of water. So Naruto couldn't sleep a little anymore. At this time, as soon as he turned his head, he saw Yitsong sitting on the sofa, sleeping deeply. She didn't look very comfortable, after all, how comfortable could it be to lie down like that? These days of getting along, Naruto felt that Hakura was indeed a very kind woman. But again, dead brains. In other words, she was extremely loyal to the Shine Village, so she didn't want to believe what he said. Although he would not forcibly stop Yitsong from doing what she wanted, but to be honest, it was a pity that a woman like Yitsong died. Before that, Naruto walked directly to Hakura and reached out to pick Hakura up. Just the moment his hand just stretched out, Yitsong's eyes opened. Just saw Naruto's face right in front of his eyes. At that moment, both Hakura and Naruto were still. But in the next second, Naruto said with a smile, I originally said to do something bad while you did, but I didn't expect you to wake up like this. I don't know what's wrong. Being prodded by Naruto like this, Yitsong was a little shy, and his face was a little red. She quickly pushed Naruto away. What can you, a 12-year-old kid, do to me? I don't sleep in the evening, but I think about something. Naruto smiled wickedly. Who says you can't do anything at 12? I can use the Flying Thunder God technique, and I can learn all the burning ninjutsu. Do you think I'll be just an ordinary child? Yitsong was speechless for a moment. Finally stopped looking at Naruto. I don't want to tell you, go to bed quickly, and get up early tomorrow. Naruto did not continue to tease Hakura, walked to the side of the bed, reached out and patted the side of the bed. It's the last day, don't plan to sleep with me? Hakura didn't take Naruto and closed it again. Naruto just smiled and slept too. The next morning, when Hakura woke up, he found that Naruto was not in the room. Almost subconscious movements. Hakura immediately walked out of his hotel room to look for Naruto. He didn't run far before he saw Naruto walking leisurely. Movement was heard. Naruto looked back, and he smiled. You're so flustered, aren't you looking for me? Looking for him, of course. Otherwise, how could you panic? Yitsong did not respond directly, but with a hint of displeasure. You actually want to run away secretly, are you trying to do something bad? Sister Yitsong, the ship has landed, I just want to get off the boat, our purpose is the same, why don't we go together? I won't go with you, we're not all the way. Naruto smiled and did not speak. Although it is said not to go all the way. But disembarkation from here is all side by side. After getting off the boat, Naruto teased her, aren't you not going all the way with me? But if you followed me all the way, shouldn't Sister Yitsung be in love with me for a long time? Hakura frowned, not wanting to take Naruto. However, Naruto raised his finger in a direction that Hakura didn't take. I'll go this way later. Yitsung frowned. Didn't you say that you also want to go to Wuin Village? Why is it over there, and that side is the opposite direction of Wuin Village? My destination is Mistine Village, but I didn't say that I will go to Mistine Village as soon as I get to the Land of Water. I want to see other places. After speaking, he looked at Yitsung and said, could it be that Sister Yitsung wants me to go with you? Who said I want you to come with me? It's great if you're not with me. After saying that, turn around and leave. Naruto glanced at Hakura's back and said, Sister Yitsung, you are so beautiful, don't die easily, I taught you strange powers, don't waste my teaching to you for so many days. Yitsung was silent and did not speak. And Naruto brought up the bet again. What do you think of the bet you said last time? If you are ambushed and survive, marry me and be my wife. By what? Yitsung instantly refuted. I won't let you suffer so much. If you hadn't been ambushed, I could have promised you a condition, and you could let me do anything. Yitsung pursed her lips lightly, and she said, I don't want you to do anything, why should I bet with you? Okay then. Naruto shrugged, then that's the way it goes. Her life or death has nothing to do with herself. After saying that, he turned and left. But Yitsung looked at Naruto's back, and his heart was a little distressed. I didn't expect to leave like this. After all these days of getting along, she seemed to have some habits of staying with Naruto. And Naruto always said that he would be ambushed, is it true? But if it's true. That is, Shine Village sold herself, and she was a victim. However, she was never able to accept such a cruel truth. Whether things are true or false can only be known by verification. So she had to go to the village of Kirito to see if what Naruto said was true. No longer looking at Naruto, he turned and walked in the direction of Kirito village. Along the way, Yitsung was very alert. Whether what Naruto said was true or not, as a ninja, it was right to be on alert at all times. At first, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. But when she walked into a valley, Yitsung sensed that something was not quite right nearby. Right at this time, a man from Wuin village appeared and said with a kind face, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you here. The other person doesn't look out of the ordinary. Yitsung just sighed and then continued to walk forward. However, the other party did not walk in front of Yitsung, but walked behind Yitsung. Episode 128, where Yitsung can't see it. The misty ninja man took out his hand and stabbed in the direction of Yitsung. Only a pop was heard. Yitsung fell directly to the ground. After Nawu endured the hand, his face showed a smug face, and his face was full of hideous smiles. Hee hee, do you think that killing you will be able to lift the hatred of our Wuin village against your Sanding village? No way. This is just the beginning. As soon as the words fell, only a touch was heard. The leaf barn that had originally fallen to the ground became a pool of lava, and the ground was scorched. What? Avatar? As an envoy of Shine village, I sent an envoy to Wuin village to make peace, but you want to kill me? Why? Yitsung's voice appeared behind him. The mist ninja looked surprised, turned around suddenly, but was grabbed by Yitsung's neck. Say, why kill me? The other party was pinched by Yitsung and almost breathless. In order to get the other party's answer, Yitsung loosened his hand slightly. Do you still need me to answer this? You thought you were here to negotiate, but in fact, Shine village sent us Wuin village to vent your anger, but your Shine village is so naive. You killed so many of our colleagues in the Wuin village, it's not enough for you to die 100 times. As he spoke, he attacked Yitsung's hand with his hand. In an instant, Yitsung instantly released his hand. Meanwhile, the other party disappeared, and countless kunai and shurikens were projected from all directions, attacking her. This valley is a perfect place for ambushes. Obviously, Yitsung has been ambushed. However, she did not panic, but spread out her hand, and there were 4 red fireballs around her instantly. This is scorching and steaming. Anyone close to the user will be vaporized by this fireball and become a dry corpse. The moment those shurikens and kunai touched the fireball, they directly turned into air. However, this is just the beginning. At this moment, 4 mist shinobi with masks appeared. The 4 of them simultaneously used the water dragon bullet to attack Yitsung. Everyone knew that Yitsung had a blood succession limit, but he could not be killed with a single effort. It's just that the water dragon bullet is completely invincible to Yitsung's oversteaming kill. The water dragon bomb directly evaporated. But these 4 people are just the beginning. From around that valley, more than 10 more mist appeared in the shadows. Although Yitsung has great strength, it is difficult for her to fight against so many ninjas alone. Even if the burning ninjutsu is powerful, but she is only one person after all, chakra is limited. After a fight, Yitsong killed more than 10 Zongnin, she was already scarred, and Cha was exhausted. But those 4 elite shinobi are still there. One of them looked at Yitsong mockingly, "You killed so many people in our Wuyin village, you must die here today." After that, the 4 of them used water dragon bullets again, intending to directly kill Yitsong. And Yitsong also seemed to have lost the idea of life. Because it's all over. She could no longer resist. Even Naruto used the strange power that he had taught herself, but she was not an opponent for so many people after all. Without chakra, she is like a wasted person. In the end, Naruto was right. She is a ninja abandoned by the village of Tsunahi. All this speaks for itself. It's just that by the time she knew this, it was too late. Repentance is not the beginning, should listen to Naruto, should not continue to go to the village of Mist Hidden Village. But how could she have thought that Shine Village, where she grew up and where she had been paying for, had betrayed herself? The eye sockets were red, and a tear flowed from the corner of the eye. With a pop, Yitsong knelt directly on the ground. In the end, it was I who lost. She murmured, closing her eyes and waiting for the final blow. But at this moment, suddenly the waist tightened. When she opened her eyes, she had already appeared in another place. There were no elite shinobi of the mist-hidden village around, let alone the corpse of the Naka shinobi after she had been killed. Some are just a sea and grassy fields that have not been damaged in any way. Looking up, the person holding him was a man wearing a mask. If it was an adult, Yitsong would think about who the other party was. But looking at the figure of the other party, you can tell that he is Naruto. Without waiting for the other party to make a move, Yitsong directly reached out and took off the mask on Naruto's face. When he saw Naruto's familiar face, Yitsong's whole person was stunned, and tears were still hanging in the corners of his eyes. "Sister Yitsong, this is moving to cry when she sees me?" At this time, Yitsong was already a little weak. Looking at Naruto hesitate for a long time, he slowly said, "Maybe, don't even contradict me?" It seems that Sister Yitsong was not lightly injured. Instead of breaking free from Naruto's embrace, he leaned on Naruto and asked very puzzled, "Didn't you say you were leaving? Why is it here? And how did you take me away? Those ninjas were killed by you?" "That's not true, I won't casually start in the land of water, and Sister Yitsong, don't forget, I'm a person who can use the Flying Thunder God technique. After all, this is the land of water, and it is the jurisdiction of Wuyin village. Naruto doesn't mess around and cause senseless trouble. That's why he appeared wearing a mask, hid himself, and used the Flying Thunder God technique to lead Yitsong." Yitsong was clear, but she still asked puzzled, "Then why did you come to my rescue?" "It's probably to save you, but if you are willing to marry me, it is natural for me to do so, after all, it is to save my wife." Again making jokes of himself. Yitsong stopped talking. At this point, Naruto put Hakura down and let her lean against the tree on the side. "Forget it, no joke with you, but just now I took you away, those 4 people will definitely catch up, I will go and solve them first, you will rest here." Yitsong heard that Naruto was going to deal with the 4 mist shinobi, and he was very worried in his heart. Although I have consumed a lot of their chakras when I fight them, they are the elite ninjas of the mist hidden village after all, and they are not so easy to deal with. "It's okay." Naruto put the mask back on his face, "They are not easy characters to deal with, and neither am I Naruto." After speaking, he directly used the Flying Thunder God technique to leave and disappeared in front of Yitsong's eyes. Yitsong suddenly disappeared, and the 4 elite mist shinobi had been looking for her traces. When Naruto appeared, all 4 were stunned. "What are you?" Naruto wore a mask and no one knew his identity. Naruto deliberately changed his voice and said, "You don't need to know who I am, you just need to know that this will be your burial ground." Episode 129, is it the one who took Yitsong just now? He actually had accomplices? Could it be that it was sent by Shine Village? Is it false to say that it is a joke? Seeing them guessing there, Naruto didn't care that much. As soon as he raised his hand, 4 fireballs surrounded Naruto. "You guessed wrong, I'm not from Shine Village, I'm Yitsong's future husband, just to avenge my wife." Scorching? He was also a person who burned the blood succession limit. When everyone was surprised, Naruto was already close. The 4 mist shinobi were all elite ninjas, but they were not so easily approached by Naruto. The 4 quickly retreated, and then, in unison, they cooperated and attacked Naruto. Naruto's burning escape steaming kill is absolutely not close, so the 4 of them cooperate to use various water-den ninjutsu. I have to say that this cooperation is still quite effective. However, Naruto is a person who can use the art of the Flying Thunder God. It's so easy to get close. Ceiling. Shadow doppelganger art. A few brushes. Naruto separated 4 shadow doppelgangers at once, and at the same time, Naruto made spell marks on the 4 shadow doppelgangers. Immediately afterwards, the 4 shadow doppelgangers rushed towards the 4 elite ninjas. Flying Thunder God technique. In an instant, Naruto came to a shadow doppelganger, and a fireball was born in his palm, and the fireball fell on the elite ninja in front of him. Burning, oversteaming. The other party held miserably. Naruto once again used the Flying Thunder God technique, came to another shadow doppelganger, and once again spawned a fireball in his palm. Soon, 4 dried corpses appeared on the ground, and all 4 mist shinobi were wiped out by Naruto. To death, the 4 mist ninjas didn't know Naruto's identity. They didn't even know that there was a second person in this world, besides Jitsung, who could use burning escape. Solving it all, Naruto didn't linger at all. Left directly. Although this time did not use the power of the 9 tails. However, if it is too prominent, it is still easy to notice. After all, this is the realm of the land of water. So keep a low profile, keep a low profile, and keep a low profile. When Naruto reappeared, Jitsung's heart suddenly relaxed. It's just that she was very surprised that Naruto came back so quickly. Those people have already been defeated by you? They are much easier to deal with than I thought. Your face is quite big, and the Wuin village actually sent so many people to kill you. The second half of the sentence is undoubtedly poking Jitsung's wound. Yes, her face is really big. He actually let Sofagi assassinate and intercept her. I didn't expect that I was acting as an envoy to the hidden village, but they wanted to kill me, and Lord Kazekage never told me about this. Naruto took off his mask directly, with a hint of mockery on his face. Of course he won't tell you, because he just wants you to die in the misty hidden village, thereby easing the impending war between the 2 hidden villages. Jitsung couldn't help but be silent. She had been worried about Naruto in Naruto's absence. Because she knew that those people were difficult to deal with, she didn't even have time to think about her own affairs. Now that Naruto was standing in front of her, she didn't have to worry anymore. But she remembered herself again. That scene all flashed out of my mind. Tears, which had already dried up, slowly flowed from the corners of his eyes again. Yes, I was sent to Wuin village as a pawn abandoned by Shine village. If you hadn't told me this time, I wouldn't have been defenseless, and if I hadn't learned the strange power you taught me before, I would have died there. So are you going to thank me with your own promise? I risked my life to save you. Jitsung looked at Naruto, and the emotions in his eyes were very complicated. There was silence for a moment. She pursed her lips gently, hiding the pain in her heart deeply. Since the Sand Hidden Village wants me to die, then I will definitely be sent to the Mist Hidden Village again when I go back, and I, as a ninja of the Sand Hidden Village, deserve to die for the sake of the village. These words made Naruto frown. I'm afraid this girl doesn't have some brain problems, right? However, Jitsung then said slowly, but if I am willing to send death to Wuin village, it is my business, but they are deceiving me, and then sending me to Wuin village, I am unwilling, I am not willing to die like this. Other words. Henceforth, she had nowhere else to go. She became homeless. Looking at Naruto, he said with a serious face, you said to bet with me before, does it still count? Naruto was slightly stunned and said jokingly, of course it counts, after all, I won. That. From today onwards, Jitsung will be your wife. Hearing this, Naruto was stunned for a moment. To be honest, what he said before was just a joke. Because he thought it was fun to tease Jitsung, he kept his wife on his lips. After all, Jitsung is not young, and he is still a ninja of the blood succession limit, so it is impossible to promise himself this little ghost. But I didn't expect that I agreed to do so? Look at Naruto's stunned look. Jitsung frowned slightly, and said a little cautiously, or were you joking before? You didn't want me to be your wife? To be honest, I was really just joking with you before. That moment. Jitsung only felt that he seemed too naive. I actually believed what a little fart child said. And she actually said that she wanted to be his wife? She bit her lip tightly, and then smiled bitterly. Sorry, I made myself amorous. But as soon as the words fell, Naruto stepped forward. How can this be considered self-inflicted? I joked that you wouldn't say yes. After all, you still have some years to wait for me to grow up to meet your needs. As soon as these words came out, Jitsung's face instantly turned red. Probably because I agreed, I felt blushing and feeling ashamed. She immediately lowered her head and said with some stammering, man, what is satisfied? I don't believe that Sister Jitsung doesn't understand. Sister Jitsung is also an adult, right? Hakura reached out to push Naruto, wanting Naruto to distance himself away. But as soon as she tried hard, her whole body hurt. She almost forgot that she was covered in injuries. Naruto was smiling and hugged Jitsung directly. This is not a place for small talk, let's find a hidden place to hide first, so as not to trouble who the misty hidden village sends to chase and kill. A brush. Naruto left the place with Hakura and appeared in a cave. Fortunately, I found a place in advance, otherwise, it will be difficult to find a place to live, so let's settle first, just made such a big move, it is not suitable to show up. Of course Jitsung understood. The people sent by the mist-hidden village to kill Jitsung killed 4 elite ninjas, and a dozen middle ninjas. Wuin village will definitely not give up. Episode 130, In the Cave. Naruto asked Hakura to find a place to sit down and use medical ninjutsu to heal her injuries. Watching Naruto use medical ninjutsu, Jitsung's face was very surprised, and she said, "You can actually treat ninjutsu?" As I said, Tsunade's mother-in-law is my teacher, and she didn't just teach me strange powers. Jitsung looked at Naruto carefully, and did not look away for a long time. Naruto was much more powerful than she thought. Originally, she had always treated Naruto as a child, but Naruto was a complete little adult, and she was saved by Naruto this time after getting along before. It was as if one of her hearts was possessed by Naruto. Naruto concentrated on helping her heal. When her injuries were almost healed, Naruto couldn't help but tease, "What's wrong? Found your husband too handsome? So keep staring at me?" As always, the tone was not tuned, teasing Jitsung. However, this time Hakura did not feel that Naruto had a problem speaking. I saw that she looked away, a little blushing, shy. "You were so serious just now, I thought you didn't see anything. Nothing can be hidden from me, next time you look at it secretly, look at it fairly, you are my wife." Jitsung was silent for a moment, then turned to look at Naruto with a hint of doubt in her eyes. Are you really going to marry me? You know, I'm very old, at least compared to Naruto, it was indeed not small. After all, Naruto was only 12 years old, and she was already 27, a difference of 15 years. Naruto smiled and said, "You don't think I'm small, how can I think you're big?" After speaking, his eyes fell on Jitsung's career line. Jitsung immediately understood what Naruto meant, and she hurriedly explained, I mean, my age, not there, I'm talking about age, I don't mean anywhere else, what are you thinking? I didn't, I was able to communicate normally with Naruto before. But she agreed to become Naruto's wife, and now she feels like she doesn't know how to parry Naruto. You're my wife, can you do some adult things? Great. Adult things? Jitsung was stunned for a moment. Before she could react, Naruto reached out and hugged her. He bowed his head and kissed it. Jitsung's face was extremely blushing, and he was actually kissed directly by Naruto. She wanted to push Naruto away, but at the moment her strength seemed to be withdrawn by something. She could only let Naruto control her. For the first time, she experienced such a kiss. Long. Naruto stopped with a smile on his face. Seeing that Jitsung was shy and did not speak, Naruto temporarily let go of Jitsung and got up directly. "Let you go first, I'll go get some food, you stay here obediently, don't go anywhere, I have observed the nearby terrain, I think the people of Wuin village should not find it." Jitsung blushed, nodded, and sorted it out slightly. "I see, you. On the road, walk out of the cave and the sun is just right outside." Naruto only felt refreshed. Initially established an intimate relationship with Jitsung, and after a while, he could go further. When he thought so, Jitsung huddled in the cave. Obviously a little ghost, he actually understands so much. Jitsung didn't even know that he would fall into Naruto's tenderness, and he couldn't help himself at all. Her face was red and her heart was throbbing, hard to stop. She was the only one left in the cave. Shyness. The surroundings were quiet, and Jitsung couldn't help but think of the matter of Shine village again. Her parents sacrificed for the village of Shine, and she abandoned everything and gave everything she had to the village. Shine village, she has always been regarded as the hero of the village and is admired by countless people. But she didn't expect it. Behind this incomparably beautiful, there is such a conspiracy? She was betrayed by the village she trusted and loved the most. The tears could no longer be stopped. In front of Naruto, she also shed tears, but she kept holding back. This is her dignity as an adult. But now, when there was no one left, she began to cry as much as she could. No one would look at her as weak as she was. No one will see it in the future. She's a woman, she's an adult, she's a ninja. Her body trembled slightly, and she buried her face in her knees, tears wetting her clothes. When it was painful, a trace of relief rose in my heart. At least, she still has Naruto in the future. When the whole world betrayed him, there was Naruto who remained by his side. Isn't that enough? When Naruto returned, he brought some food. And Hakura had already wiped away her tears. She did not allow herself to show any weakness in front of Naruto. After the two sat down, Naruto asked Hakura, "What's next? What are you going to do next?" Yizong was slightly stunned. If it had been before, she would not have told the truth. But now her relationship with Naruto is different. Gently pursing his lips, he then said, "I don't know, but I definitely won't be able to go back to Sand Ninja Village, and I will be calculated by those high-level people when I go back, but it doesn't matter, anyway." At this point, he paused unconsciously for a moment. Immediately afterwards, Yizong carried a hint of helplessness, probably. "The only thing that makes me feel uneasy in Shine Village is my apprentice Scroll, and if I am not there, I don't know what will happen to her." But the least she knew was that Roll wouldn't be implicated in her own business. Naruto naturally knew who the roll in her mouth was. After speaking, Yizong fell into a short silence. After a while, she continued, "Actually, I want to follow you, but you are a ninja of Konoha Village, and I am a ninja of Tsunahide Village, and it is impossible for the people of Konoha Village to accommodate me." At the end of the day, she really had nowhere to go. Naruto nodded, "That's right, Konoha Village will not easily accommodate ninjas from other countries. Now Yizong is even more lost, she is probably going to live on the street, right?" However, Naruto smiled, "But with me, nothing is impossible." Yizong froze for a moment, suddenly raised his head, and looked at Naruto. "You want to take me to Konoha Village? You are my wife, let's not say where to take you, at least I won't leave you." These words made Yizong very moved. But she didn't say a word of thanks. Because in her opinion, a word of thanks was not enough to represent her feelings for Naruto at all. But she secretly made a decision in her heart. No matter the danger, she will always stay by Naruto's side. Even if there is any danger in the future, she will do her best to sweep away Naruto's danger. At the end of the day, her life was saved by Naruto. In other words, her life, her person, belonged to Naruto. "I'll talk about this later. I'm not in a hurry to go back to Konoha Village, eat something to replenish my physical strength first, otherwise, I won't have time to accompany me in the evening."